Hi, my name is Tom Pellegrino. I'm the Associate Vice President and Dean of Students at Fairfield University. I want to thank you for viewing this information about study abroad here at Fairfield University. This webinar will be on conduct policies. And I should begin by first saying I want to welcome you and congratulate you on your decision to participate in our study abroad program. It is a wonderful program, and it's something that I'm sure all of you will get a great deal out of, both intellectually and socially, and certainly it has many benefits, and we're very excited that you're participating in this. I'm here to talk very briefly about policies, particularly conduct policies as they relate to your participation in the study abroad program. And ironically, I'd like to start with what happens before you actually begin your study abroad program. And that was really pertaining to the pre-approval stage. All students who apply to study abroad have to go through, obviously, an application process. Part of that application process does involve the Office of the Dean of Students or the disciplinary officer at your home university. And basically, one of the things that we ask students to do, or we want students to do, is to be sure that their student records at Fairfield University or home university show that the student is really qualified to engage in study abroad, and it's going to be somebody who's going to exercise appropriate judgment, appropriate discretion, and appropriate decision making when they're studying abroad. This is an important program for the university, but more importantly, it's an important program for you, and we want to make sure that everybody is able to get the most out of the program, and that's why there's a review at first at the level of the Dean of Students Office. Once a student is approved to study abroad by the Office of the Dean of Students, that's really what we're talking about now in terms of the policies that are in place. And the first thing I would want to tell you is that two things, basically, in that students are first required to observe the laws of the country in which they will reside. And the second thing you should know is that the policies of Fairfield University apply when you're studying abroad. And when I talk about policies of the university, I'm talking certainly about our academic policies, but I'm also including our disciplinary policies, policies that appear in the student handbook. And you'll have access to a link to the student handbook so you can see exactly what we're talking about. Now, it's really important to understand these two things because in some important respects, you may find that the laws of the host country may differ in some respects from the policies contained in the university student handbook. That is because many of the policies in our student handbook are based on the laws of the United States. And so where the laws of the United States or the laws of the state of Connecticut may differ from the laws of the host country, you do need to observe the laws of the host country first and foremost. The primary example is going to be in the area of alcohol. So why don't we start our discussion specifically with respect to that. As you can see here, although minimum drinking ages will differ in many host countries, by differing I mean to say that many host countries the drinking age will be 18 as opposed to 21 here in the United States, students will still be expected to drink responsibly. Right? And what I'm saying here is, in some respects, stating the obvious, but our policies contemplate not only that you're going to drink responsibly, but you're not going to do so in an abusive way. And when we're talking about abusive use of alcohol, we're talking about use that's going to result in missing classes. Abusive use results in disruptive behavior. Abusive use may be the type that causes harm to yourself or others, that may result in your admission to a hospital. These are just some of the primary examples, and hopefully none of you experience this, but I'm here to tell you that these are some of the things that we are focusing on. So regardless of whether the drinking age in your host country is 18, or 19, or 21, in addition to adhering to the minimum drinking age, what we certainly want you to pay attention to is how you're conducting yourself and how you're behaving in respect to use of alcohol. In a similar vein, let's talk a little bit about drugs. One thing I should point out is that students should be aware that the penalties for violations of drug laws in many countries tend to be much harsher than they are in the United States. Similar to what I mentioned to you about alcohol, Our approach and policies with regards to drugs that are in the student handbook do apply when you are studying abroad. And it's the same thing, is that if you are studying abroad and you're found to have violated either the university's drug policy or the laws of the country, the university would reserve the right to end your time in the study abroad program. It's not automatic, but what we're looking to do is to make sure that your behavior is not causing disruption to the program. It's not being disruptive to the enjoyment of the program of others, and certainly that it's not resulting in you either missing classes or being able to function in the program. That applies to both alcohol or drugs or really any behavior. And I'm saying this and understanding that a lot of what I'm talking about does not apply to the vast, vast majority of those who are now hearing my voice and reviewing this, but it is important nonetheless for me to convey to you what our approach is and what the policies are and what the expectations are of all students when they do study abroad. Finally, we talked about the goals, the policies. Let me talk to you a little bit about the goals of what we're talking here. The university conduct policies should be viewed as consistent with the best aspirations of study abroad travel. They're not intended to be hindrances. They're not intended to treat our study abroad participants like children, but really they're there to complement what we hope to be a really good experience. And our past experience has shown that that is certainly what tends to happen here. We view you as both students and ambassadors of Fairfield University. As important as the study abroad program is to all of you, it is equally important to Fairfield University. And we know that you understand that, and you've already been pre-approved to go to these programs. So we want to make sure that you're all good ambassadors of Fairfield University, and your behavior comports to not only our policies and procedures of Fairfield University, but certainly the mission and identity of the school itself. We provide you here with a link to the Fairfield University Student Handbook, and I do encourage you to take a moment to access the Student Handbook. It's broken down into sections that you're hopefully all familiar with, and it's a good resource, not just for policies and procedures governing your stay at study abroad, but also a lot of other information that's of use to you. Finally, I would say that our primary goal here is for you to be safe, to be responsible, obviously for you to exercise good judgment, as you know that we will, as we know you will, and most importantly for you to have a really great experience. Thank you for taking this time.